Hello students, welcome to physics class. Today we discuss the motion of a charged particle through a uniform magnetic field. We know that when a charge is moving through a magnetic field, it experiences a magnetic force. And we can find the direction of magnetic force by using Fleming's left hand rule. And the magnitude of force is given by F is equal to Q V cross V. Let us first situation. Here we have a uniform magnetic field which is perpendicular to the plane of this board. The intensity of magnetic field is B. The magnetic field is perpendicular to the plane of this board. And a positive charge, consider a positive charge plus Q is coming to this magnetic field or enter to this magnetic field with a velocity v. See, now the charge is moving with a velocity v perpendicular to the uniform magnetic field. So the first case is the velocity is perpendicular to the magnetic field. The velocity is perpendicular to the magnetic field. Here the field is uniform and intensity of field is B, and the direction of magnetic field is perpendicular to the plane and inward. Perpendicular to the plane and inward. Now when the charge is moving through a magnetic field, you know that it experiences a force, magnetic Lorentz force. So how can you calculate the force? F is equal to Q into V cross B, Q into V cross B, or F is equal to QVB sine theta, QVB sine theta. Now the charge is moving perpendicular to the field. The angle between V and B is 90 degree. So the force is maximum QVB. The force acting on the charge is QVB. Now what is the direction of that force? The charge is moving in this direction. So the direction of current, a positive charge, this is a positive charge. So the direction of current is same, the direction of positive charge. So apply Fleming's left hand rule. First, stretch the forefinger of the left hand in such a way that the forefinger point in the direction of magnetic field. Here the magnetic field is perpendicular to the plane of this board, and this middle finger in the direction of current. This is the direction of current, the direction of positive charge, and thumb give the direction of magnetic force. So the magnetic force is acting in the upward direction. So this charge experience a force in the upward direction. So what happened? The charge deviate from the actual path. Actually this charge is moving along a straight line, but the upward force is acting, so the charge get deviated from the actual path. Always the force is acting upward, that is perpendicular to the field and the velocity. The force is acting always perpendicular to the field and the velocity. So what happened? A force F is equal to QVB, which is act perpendicular to the V and B, velocity and B. You see that B is perpendicular to this board and this is the direction of V. But what is the direction of force? The force is acting in the upward direction. So because of that, the force is perpendicular to V and B. This force continuously deflect the particle. The charge is trying to move along a straight line, but this force is acting in the upward. So this force continuously deflect the particle sideways without changing its speed. When the charge is trying to move along a straight line, always a perpendicular force is acting. So what happened? It deflect from the actual path and without changing the speed. You know that the force is acting perpendicular to the velocity. It does not do any work. So the velocity is not changing. The velocity of the charge remains same. Its speed remains same. And the particle move along a circular path. If the force is always acting perpendicular to the motion, the charge describe a circular path. The charge move along a circle perpendicular to this field. So what happened? The charge entered to this field. The force is acting always perpendicular to the velocity, and so the charge describe a circular path through this magnetic field. The circular path is perpendicular to the magnetic field. So when the charge moving through a circular path, it need a centripetal force. To maintain the circular path, it need a centripetal force. Actually, this magnetic force give the centripetal force. Let us see. Suppose if the charge is reached here, when described as circular path, when the charge reached here, what the direction of velocity? This is the direction of velocity. What the direction of magnetic field? Perpendicular to this board and inward. Now apply Fleming's left hand rule. First forefinger in the direction of magnetic field, middle finger in the direction of current or velocity. You see that force is acting towards the center. The force is acting towards the center of the circle. Suppose if the charge is reached here, what the direction of velocity? This is the direction of velocity. Direction of field perpendicular to the board and inward. Now apply Fleming's left hand rule. First forefinger in the direction of magnetic field and the middle finger in the direction of velocity. Now also you see that the thumb point towards the center. It means that the centripetal force is provided by our magnetic force. The magnetic force is acting towards the center and necessary centripetal force is provided by the magnetic force. So we can write as the necessary centripetal force required here is mv square by r. If m is the mass of this charge and r is the radius of the circular path and v is the velocity, so mv square by r is the necessary centripetal force. And who providing the centripetal force? The magnetic force. So we can equate mv square by r is equal to qvb. The magnetic force on this charge is qvb, and so mv square by r is equal to qvb. Now we can write an expression for the radius of the circular path. R is equal to mv by qb. R is equal to mv by qb. Rearrange this equation and write R is equal to mv by qb. That is the radius of the circular path. Now the period of revolution, or the time taken to complete one circular path, that's equal to circumference by speed. What is radius? R. Circumference is 2 pi r. 2 pi r by v. 2 pi r by v. That is the time taken by the charge to complete one revolution. Can be called as period of revolution or time period. 2 pi by v, r, substitute for r is equal to mv by qb. R is equal to mv by qb. So what are you getting? R is equal to mv by qb and cancel v and v. So 2 pi m by qb. Time period is equal to what? 2 pi m by qb. And see that the time period is independent of v and r. In this expression of time period, velocity and the radius is not there. Time period is independent of velocity of the charge and the radius of the circular path. It means when the velocity increases, the radius of the circular path increases. Whatever the radius or whatever the velocity, time period remains constant. Time period is independent of velocity and radius. But when the velocity increases, radius of the circular path is actually increases. That's why time period is independent of radius and velocity. Now what is the frequency? Frequency means time taken or the number of revolution per second. The number of revolution per second, reciprocal of time period. So the frequency is equal to reciprocal of time period, that's equal to qb by 2 pi m. qb by 2 pi m. And thus frequency is known as cyclotron frequency. This frequency is known as what? Cyclotron frequency. So when a charge is moving perpendicular to a uniform magnetic field, it describes a circular path. It moving through a circular path of radius r is equal to mv by qb. The time period of revolution is equal to 2 pi m by qb. And the frequency of revolution is equal to qb by 2 pi m. Now see the case 2. When the initial velocity makes an arbitrary angle with the field direction. Here, the charge entering to this magnetic field B by making an angle theta with the direction of magnetic field. The initial velocity of the charge makes an angle theta with the direction of magnetic field. So the magnetic field is here, a uniform magnetic field along the plane of this board. The charge enter with the initial velocity v, which makes an angle theta with the direction of magnetic field. Now you can see we can resolve the velocity into two components. It's horizontal and a vertical component. That is the v cos theta along the direction of magnetic field, and v sin theta, that's v sin theta, which is perpendicular to the direction of magnetic field. We can resolve this velocity into v cos theta, which is along the direction of magnetic field, and v sin theta, which is perpendicular to the magnetic field. We resolve velocity into v cos theta and v sin theta. It have two velocity. One is along x-axis, that is in the direction of magnetic field. Other is along y-axis, perpendicular to the direction of magnetic field. Now, the charge moving along the direction of magnetic field with the velocity v cos theta. The v cos theta, which is parallel to the magnetic field. So the charge continue to move along the direction of magnetic field with the velocity vb cos theta. The charge moving along the direction of magnetic field with a velocity vb cos theta. Same time, it have another velocity v sin theta, which is perpendicular to the magnetic field, and we know that the perpendicular component of velocity always helps to move in a circular path. The perpendicular component of velocity helps to move in a circular path. So the charge is moving to a circular path perpendicular to the magnetic field with a velocity of vb sin theta. The charge moving with a velocity vb sin theta, which is perpendicular to the direction of magnetic field. So when the charge is moving with a velocity vb sin theta, what is the radius of that circular path? The radius of the circular path can be written as r is equal to m into velocity divided by qb. But here what is velocity v sin theta? We already derived that the radius of the circular path is equal to mv by qb. But here the velocity is v sin theta, that's by mv sin theta by qb. R is equal to mv sin theta by qb. Okay, that's the radius of that circular path. Now, what is the time period? Time period is equal to 2 pi r by velocity. What is the velocity? V sin theta. So, substitute for r. 2 pi v sin theta into r. R is equal to mv sin theta by qb. That's equal to 2 pi m by qb. The time period is equal to 2 pi m by qb. Now, see, the charge have two types of motion. That is, it have a linear motion along the direction of magnetic field and a circular motion which is perpendicular to the direction of magnetic field. So, thus the charged particle moving in a uniform magnetic field has two concurrent motion. Two type of motion at the same time. Two concurrent motion. So, linear motion along the magnetic field with a velocity v cos theta, and a circular motion perpendicular to the velocity, perpendicular to the magnetic field with a velocity v sin theta. With a velocity v cos theta, a linear motion along the field, and with a velocity v sin theta, a circular motion perpendicular to the field. Two concurrent motions. Hence, the resultant path of the charged particle is a helix. Once it completes a circular path, it traveling a linear distance. Once it complete a circular path, it move along a straight line. So the path will look like as a helix, or the path will look like as a spring. That's shown in the diagram. Once it's enter, it moving a linear distance and a circular path. So once it's complete a circular path, it will travel some linear distance. So the path of the charged particle will look like as a spring, or it's like a helix. So when a charged particle enter to a magnetic field by some initial velocity, which makes some angle with the direction of magnetic field, so it will move like as a helix. It move along a helical path. So you know that once it completes a circular path, it will travel some linear distance. And that linear distance covered once it completes a revolution is known as pitch. The pitch is defined as the linear distance traveled by a charge in the direction of magnetic field during the period of revolution is called pitch. Define pitch of the circular path. The pitch is defined as the linear distance traveled by charge in the direction of magnetic field during the period of revolution is called pitch. We already find what is the period of revolution. What the time taken to complete one circular path. That's equal to 2 pi m by qb. So within that time, what the linear distance covered? What's the linear velocity? What's the linear velocity? Velocity in the direction of magnetic field is v cos theta. So 2 pi m by qb, time period into velocity. That's distance. So the linear distance is known as pitch. Pitch is equal to v cos theta into t. V cos theta into t. T is equal to 2 pi m by qb into v cos theta. That is the pitch of the helix. Now see the case 3. When the initial velocity is parallel to the magnetic field. The initial velocity is parallel to magnetic field. Here we have a charge moving with a velocity v, which is moving parallel to the magnetic field. You know that when a charge is moving in a magnetic field, the force experienced for the charge F is equal to Q V cos B. Or we can write F is equal to QVB sin theta. What is theta? The angle between the direction of velocity and the magnetic field. But here V and B are parallel to each other. So theta is equal to 0. Substitute theta is equal to 0 in this equation. F is equal to QVB sin 0. But sin 0 is equal to 0. F is equal to 0. So the no force is acting on this charge when it is moving parallel. Similarly, if it is moving anti-parallel also, no force is acting. When the charge is moving parallel to the direction of magnetic field, no force is acting on the charge. So we can conclude that parallel magnetic field does not exert any force on the moving charged particle. Thus, the charged particle will continue to move along the same path. Whatever the path, if the charge is traveling, the path will remain same because no external force or no magnetic force is acting on the charge. So, the charge will experience a force if it is moving perpendicular to the magnetic field or if it is moving along any direction or by making some angle with the direction of magnetic field. If it is moving parallel or anti-parallel to the field, no magnetic force acting on the charge. That's all today. Thank you.